Okay, I can't imagine that most of the clients you work with are actually relying on Social Security for their retirement, for their primary retirement income. So let's talk about some strategies about tapping into Social Security. How does that play into retirement planning?
Yeah, Social Security is not an insignificant source of income, though. You're right. It's not the primary source, it's not the one that you rely on. But on the other hand, if you think about the value of an investment that would generate the same income or cash flow that you're going to get from Social Security, if you live this 30-year post retirement lifespan, that's a significant amount of money. It's a significant value. And so, how do you maximize that? Well, one is if you reach your full retirement age every year after full retirement age. So if you were born before 1960, you're going to be 66 in some change of months. If you were born after 1960, your full retirement age is going to be age 67. So every year you delay up to age 70, you're going to get an increase in your income of 8%. So that's not a bad bump. So if you can manage to delay Social Security, you can get a nice kick in your start. And that higher income, if you live that 30-year lifespan that we're talking about in retirement, you're building and getting cost of living adjustments on that. So that's a way to really try to maximize the income. And on the other hand, if you're a spouse, spouses do not get that same. So if you're electing a spousal benefit, delaying the spousal benefit, because you can claim on a spouse's income, if you delay, or I'm sorry, if you take your full retirement age income then, it's not going to increase by the time you're 70. So you might want to turn that one on. So you're kind of putting the two together. The point here simply is we typically, when we run the numbers and we look at longevity, and I always say financial planning, we look for and plan for and guard against and concern ourselves with living too long. We want to start with that. That's the big risk. So we're going to get the most income if we delay Social Security. Now, what if you don't have that longevity in your life or something along those lines? That might be a reason to start a little bit sooner. What if your assets aren't really sufficient to provide the bridge from the point at which you're going to retirement until your max Social Security age at, say, 70? Those all play into it. But we'll start with that and say, how long can we delay Social Security? Because when we run those numbers, typically we have the highest net worth when a person is, say, age 85, because they're getting the most from Social Security from age 70 to age 85, which means they're theoretically then withdrawing less from their investments that they otherwise would have. And that's really where it's so critical. So we do play with that. What if you retire and take Social Security a little sooner? What happens if you delay? And then I always talk about the purpose and making decisions that are right for you. So we can crunch numbers and be very analytical and say, here's the solution, this is the best number. And you have to live with that decision. You have to feel comfortable with that. So for some people, that's not taking Social Security until they're 70, but there may be a few years when they're taking money out of their investments more so than they're comfortable with, knowing that they're going to flip on Social Security just in a few short years away. That might not sit well with an individual. And that's important because all of these good numbers, all of these good calculations, all of this great advice, if you can't follow through with it, it's going to unwind your financial plan. And so you have to be able to have a good plan, but you also have to be able to execute and follow through on that plan. So at that point, it might be, well, what if I didn't do that? What if I went a little earlier? How much of a difference does it make? How much does it help me? And so those are the conversations I think you want to have to make an informed decision rather than just running the numbers through and saying this one's better than that one. There's a lot more to the equation.